Okay, here we are. We're back. Okay. Here we go. Hey, Brian. Yo. Too much junk here. Hang on a second. For right now, we're just hanging out. Because I think the projects that I'm working on, I'm waiting on parts, I think. So maybe I'll just find a chain here to grind on while we're hanging out, right? Makes sense. Yeah, I got a lot of parts coming. A lot of parts coming. But it always seems to be the little stuff, you know? Always seems to be a little stuff that I don't know. Six people here. Who's here? Can't be just Brian. Oh, it's fine if it is Brian. Yeah. Multiple personalities. Adirondacks, I was just milling. I mean, it's really not that exciting. Better than we started, so. So what did you guys think of the milling? I think it's crazy. And no, I'm not sure. This is just another chain. I'm gonna give that chain probably one more go, um, one more cut there before I sharpen it. I don't know when I'll get to cut again. I don't know that. I don't think the weather's going to be good tomorrow. Really, today was my chance to do that, and I just didn't have the time. As you can see, I ran out of light. And frankly, I'm kind of shot. It's riveting as well. Okay. That 394 is running pretty good, though, huh? I'm pretty happy with that saw. That thing is, it's potent. You're fixing to send me an email. Well, send me an email now. That way I know I get it. Just shoot me an email. That way, I screw up my email address all the time. It's, Matty O. The O is a letter O, not a zero. But yeah, no, it just, you get about a 20-minute cut, full throttle with that fuel tank and that saw. So it takes up quite a bit of juice. I'm officially shot. I'm just, oh, I was the reason I told you guys to be back, so I'm back. But I was literally for the last 20 minutes laying in bed for a few minutes just because I figured I'd watch Walt. So I was watching Walt's video of him out on the farm. But I just needed to chill out for a little bit. Just it's been a long week, and don't know exactly what I'm going to do this weekend. Although I think I'm going to do two projects on the Bridgeport. One is I got a Deca 394 crankcase, which you guys have seen. I also happen to have a 372 cylinder head that I messed up the threads to the spark plug, and I actually had Bill Corey weld it for me. W. Corey on the forums, and I actually haven't even opened it. He sent me the package, but I got to take that down to the Bridgeport mill and see if I can mill it flat, and then drill a hole, hopefully in the center, and then tap it. Here, Gavin, I'll put my email in here again. Just get rid of the ampersands. So, hit me with questions if you want to talk. Actually, the cup looks empty. No, it's good. Actually, this is my second cup this evening, so I'm feeling pretty happy right now. How long does it take to process a chain? Obviously, depends on, you know, how rocked it is, and depends on obviously how long it is. Um, this one's a 20-inch, a pretty. I call this a typical chain. This is 20-inch, 3/8 050 regular Oregon LGX, so full chisel. So this is what I consider a normal chain. The design is ubiquitous. Yeah, it's nothing weird. They're all over the place, you know. I think it's basically similar to Steel RS, that line. So this one basically just needs a kind of a fresh edge on it. It looks like the rakers have already been knocked down a bit. I just happen to have been given a bundle of chains by the owner of that 262 XP, and he just doesn't, you know, sharpen that much. So he attempts to sharpen, but has basically come to the conclusion that he likes to run new chains. So he's happy to get rid of the old ones, and I don't mind processing them during the wintertime. Hey David, you made it. What angle am I grinding at? 30 degrees. Again, this is what I consider a normal chain, you know, a usual chain. Have I bought chain in a roll? No, I haven't really found the need to, because I just haven't found that there's a huge price difference. Let me check my email, Gavin. Hang on a second. Let me see if I got you here. Yep, I got it. So, real quick, Gavin, are you still here? If you're still here. Okay, real quick. So if you're doing 660 and 440, I recommend a partial kit. You can do the main kit, which is 170. That's fine. But if you're really just doing 660 and 440s, you can do a partial kit. 2 rods, 2 sleeves, nuts, bolts, washers, 120 shipped. So I'll send you the form letter so you can see it. But basically, you just have to PayPal me the 120. PayPal friends and family, do that, and I'll ship you the stuff, okay? But I'll send you a form letter later when I get the chance, and that way you can, read through it, and if you want to, do other stuff, you want to actually get a main kit, which is 170, that's just basically 2 additional rods. So it's your call, okay? Just let me know. If anybody else wants tools, just send me an email, okay? How do I sharpen without grinding the gullet out? I am going, on this, it grinds the gullet as you go, David. So, the gullet ends up being clean. The other one was just so far back that you ended up with a thing in the gullet, but it actually cut pretty good today out on the mill. So this goes down all the way into the gullet. Where is everybody? Yeah, I don't know, Adirondacks. I don't know where everybody is. I'll see if I can show you an up close of the grind. And, you know, one of the things that I wish I could set this just a little further this way so you can get a little bit more of a hook. But it still turns out pretty sharp. I know, David's here. That's true. See, I don't know what you guys can see and what you can't. But here's the tooth. So I hope you could see that. It's pretty sharp. It ain't perfect, but it's pretty sharp. And the thing is, if you're taking a rocked chain, then it really helps to hit it with the grinder first and get kind of the majority of whatever going. And then I can go back, you know, I can continue hand filing this later, you know, as opposed to having to hand file all this out. It's a whole lot less work to hit it with the grinder first, maybe run it a little bit, and then go back with the hand file and you know, fine tune it. So to answer somebody's question, what was it about the 22 degree grind? I don't use it. I use 30 degree because that's what is on the that's what the witness mark says. So that's what I grind to typically. Yeah, hey Tim, if you run square, it's a completely different thing, you know. People that do square grinding, it's just completely different than round ground. So I'll tell you what, my buddy Dan, who runs some of the get-togethers, Dan has a Sylvie square grinder, and it works really good. So, but I don't have one. I have this, and I have my round files, so that's what I do, what I use. It'd be nice just to have a little bit more hook on this than what I have right now, but it's not the end of the world. And you gotta try not to blue the tooth. You know, if you go too hard, the tooth's going to turn blue, and then you're done. You got the temper is out of that, and it will not hold an edge. That's one. And if it's cutting good, I might leave the rakers alone, you know? Go back and check them, you know, if you want. I like to have it nice and shiny right at the tip, you know? Nice fresh metal right at the tip. Tim, I think it's 30 degree on stock. At least that's what it sure looks like on the witness mark. If 35 is too much, at least that definitely does not line up with the witness marks. Not say I haven't used it, I'm just saying that that's not what the witness marks have on the chain. And shiny. Is the grinder designed for chains specifically? Yeah, basically. I don't know what else you'd grind with it. You can definitely grind different types of chain with it. Bruce has a similar one, Steve. I'm pretty sure he uses it fairly regular too. I need a cool stick? What do you mean cool stick? It'd be nice to have like air on here just constantly flowing so it keeps everything cool. I gotta argue that, Tim. I think it's 30. I think it's 30. At least, again, you know, if I grind it at 35, it's gonna be beyond the witness mark. So it's gonna be too aggressive, at least according to the witness mark. Doesn't mean I haven't ground it there before or used that chain, but according to the mark, 35 is too much angle. Where's Steve Rob when you need him? Need a fan on it with dry ice, yeah. Yeah, you don't have to grind with the witness mark. I mean, if you want to put a different angle on there, go ahead. Personally, I have noticed that 10 degree definitely works better when milling. You know, I really think that is true. And you know, I haven't had any trouble with 30 degree for block and firewood, so I think I'll stick with that. Really, the less you grind these, the better, because there's less heat overall. Gotta be coming close now. can see the tip, and just when it cleans up, I know we're good. Two more. We're done. I'm also trying to develop some hook here, which was kind of lost. So, you know, if it takes a little while to do that, and then once it's there, you can go back with your hand file and continue getting, you know, keeping it right for the rest of the life of the chain. So now they're all ground, and you know, I can go back and mess with the rakers and all that stuff if we really want, but I'll probably just cut with it and see how it does. The cool stick helps keep the stone and chain cooled. What's such thing as a cool stick? I don't know what a cool stick is. And yeah, it'd be nice to be able to tilt this, but this is a fixed angle here that this comes down at. So I would love to be able to modify that in some way, but this one just is not worth it. And the motor isn't that powerful. You know, you can hear it bogging a bit, and you know, the motor is just not a heavy duty motor at all. Ideally, I think the CBN wheels are probably a whole lot more ideal. But then again, I just don't sharpen that many chains. I mean, you know, I made a grand total of one cut today. It's not like I'm cutting all the time, and it's not like I'm using up lots and lots of chains. I probably have 20 brand new ones of these sitting out in the shed. Do I really need to sharpen? No, I don't. Could just throw them out. But I'm doing it because I hate throwing out chains, and because I like hanging out with you guys. Right, $29. I mean, certainly I think one of the biggest benefits to this is if you have a rock chain. That's important because it'll get a rock chain back much faster than you can hand file. Or if you're changing, you're going from 30 to 10 or whatever, you're creating a milling chain. The milling chains are about double in cost. If you buy a ripping chain, they cost about double what a normal bucking chain costs, and it makes no sense whatsoever. They're just ground at a different angle, but they cost double. So it's kind of stupid. It's a paste that's in stick form. Oh, okay. What do? Put it on the wheel? Okay. I'd say if you're doing lots of chains, it makes sense. For what I'm doing, probably not, but it's at least interesting. It makes the stone nearly heatless, essentially, is what you're saying. Got it. Okay. Well, this chain is good for now. So this will cut just fine. It's not race chain or anything, but plenty sharp for bucking firewood, I'll tell you that. And certainly a good start if you're trying to refresh a chain, to something that's really good. So let's see, where else are we at here? I'm sure I could pick something else to do, but I am pooped. I'm just shot. Um, don't even feel like dinner. Just tomorrow, I think I'll be a little more uppity and energetic. Okay, lots of stuff here. On my wishes, diamond stones. Just CBN wheels. It's not diamond. It's effectively nearly as hard as diamond, and you can probably get them for this pretty easy. Uh, did I have a good week at work? Yeah, it was just long. Um, Dentists in general, like if you're a solo dentist by yourself at an office, most dentists traditionally take Wednesdays off, which is kind of annoying for patients because like no dentist is open on Wednesdays. But the thing is that for if you're a solo dentist, you really need to have the week kind of broken up a little bit. Otherwise, you tend to go a little crazy. Um, some guys can work 6 days a week, but can I work hard? Yes. Can I do teeth all the time? Yeah. I'm a whole lot better off. Like I think I'm a lot better off going in, putting in a solid whatever hours, being off, and doing my thing for a little bit, and then going back and being on that type of thing. For me to go in and just burn, 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 burn for 6 days a week, years on end, that's going to be a problem. I think that's going to be a problem. I don't know for sure, but this week I happened to work uh, 5 days. Right, next week I don't have a 3 day weekend. I thought I was going to, but I don't have a 3 day weekend next week because I think I work Saturday morning. So I work Monday through Thursday, and then Saturday morning I'll be on. Whatever, doesn't matter. Um, it's work. The plan for the slab you're milling. The plan for the slab is my neighbor, a number of houses down, wants an oak table. So he actually wants a couple of pieces to make a natural looking table. That's what he's looking for. I told him, I'm like, I don't know if oak is really that good for an outdoor table, but if you want to do it like that, that's up to you. I'll make the cuts. So that's what I'm doing. Night, Brian. Take care. Do your shopping. Do your worst. No, I don't think I've seen The Equalizer. Hey, Glenn. We're getting momentum, Adirondacks. 13 people here just watching me sit. Actually, there was somebody on Facebook that was supposed to come on today. Um, I forget who that was. 12. Brian's gone. Oh, right on. You got your kit. Great. That's awesome. I've been so lax with stuff this week. It's a heat wave, yeah. Uh, I've been so lax with all the tracking numbers and whatnot. I shipped a bunch of stuff out and didn't send anybody the tracking. I'm sorry. I've just been so nuts. I'm hoping people get their stuff. And I have I think I have a package to send out tomorrow. A guy from Finland wants a kit, so better get your kits while you can. Glenn's working on a 181. You know, the one that I worked on gave me fits, but once I got it's quite potent saw. For the weight, put a 288 top end on it and didn't really hardly need much port work at all. And boy, I'll tell you, that's quite the saw. The guy that owns that is the same guy that owns that 262 we've been working on. That's the coffee. No, you can't have my coffee. It's mine. All mine. Right on. Just remember, bearings go in the cases. Position the bearings in the cases first. However you want to put them in the cases is up to you. And just position them in the cases first. Then you use my tools to pull the crank through. You don't use my tools to pull bearings through. It doesn't work, okay? Steelman, if you were next door, I would bring you a cup of coffee. And make sure you don't use that small sleeve on a big saw. You'll splay it out, okay? Use the large sleeve on large saws, whether you use that flywheel rod or not. And let's see what it's Glenn. What sort of kits? I put together crankcase tools. So if you want to put saws together easier, or like super easy, you want to take like the hardest part of putting a chainsaw together, then you need my tools because nobody else has them. Well, it's not exactly true. Walt has his own set of tools, and I had a lovely conversation with him about that the other night. So Walt has a bit of a different design with his tools, and it just depends on what you prefer. I'll say this: I have 30 pieces of 3/4 inch threaded rod out in the shed right now that I need to cut into 7 inch long pieces. You can imagine how many pieces I'm going to have, which means I'm going to be running through these tools pretty quick. At least I have a few kits left right now, and I'm definitely going to be running through them fast. There's a lot of demand, and I'm desperately trying to keep up. Who just showed up? Ice Road. Ice Road showed up. How's it going? And Ben, Mill Bob. I'm supposed to have my tractor delivered tomorrow. I want a set of forks with grapplers. Cool. Uh, some of the logs that I do are more. I mean, I don't know what your fork is rated to, but some of the logs that I cut are pretty darn heavy. Um, 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. It's a lot. You're the lineman for the county. Wow. Okay. Well, and Andy, hello. How's it going? Good morning. Yeah. It's 7:30 p.m. here. Um, so let's see. I Right Hunt says I plan on buying every kit. Well, I don't. As of right now, I'm not planning on making other toolkits. Um, I've tried to come up with some ideas on stuff to make, but in reality, I can do these, and right now I've essentially got all my eggs in one basket. So it's all about these tools, and and trying to get stock with those tools. So I'm doing everything I can to work on that right now. I hope to get the chop saw this weekend and be able to chop those up. Once I get them chopped, then I can send them down to the machinist, and he can do those up, and the hundreds of rods. And once I have those, then we just keep going apace. Did I get the 661 rod fixed from being loose? Tim, I let them know what was going on. They're gonna have a look and see exactly where the margin of error was there. I don't know exactly where it was, but either way, even with the looseness, at least in some of the rods, they don't pull out. They still hold quite well. So I'm not really worried about it right now. But if somebody has one that you don't muscle it. You don't need a breaker bar on the damn thing. You probably only need like maybe maximum 20 foot-pounds clunk, and that's it to pull that crank through. So even if something's a little bit loose, don't worry about it. If you strip it out, obviously let me know. But uh, I just haven't had anybody strip one, with the exception of the M12 rods. Um, even if it's a little bit loosey goosey, they still hold. The M12 rods only strip because the cranks end up being out of spec. Once if the cranks are in spec, there's no problem. Where do I get my logs? I get my logs all over the place. The guy that I'm milling for now, had a friend of his, do tree work on his property before he actually owned that property. He was down there, and that was a number of years ago. And so I ended up down there. This is before I got delivered any logs at all. I ended up down there, and I talked to the tree guy, and I'm like, hey, I've got a sawmill right down the street. If you have any pine logs or whatever that you want to get rid of, instead of buck up, just dump them at my property. And months later, he called me. He's like, "Hey, you want a shipment?" I'm like, "Okay." So he's the guy that actually delivered me the first load of logs. And since then, I've gotten to know some other tree guys, and so most of the time, people just drop me stuff.